Hare Krishna. Okay, so welcome everyone back to our daily Bhagavad Gita classes. Today we are going to be speaking from chapter number 1, text number 4. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena
चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so speaking from text number, chapter number 1, text number 4. Atra Shura Maheshwasha Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha Atra Shura Maheshasha Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharata Atra Shura Maheshwasha Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharata Atra Shura Maheshasha Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharata Atra Shura Maheshwasha Bhima Arjuna Samadhi Padascha Maharata Tatra Shura Maheshwasha Arjuna Samadhya Atram Suramaheshasha Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Bhima Yudhascha Vivajascha Maharada Mataji Atra Suramaheshasha Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Rupadascha Maharata Atra Suramaheshasha Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Drupadascha Maharata. Okay, word for word translation. Atra, here. Shuraha, heroes. Mahishwasha, mighty bowmen. Bhima Arjuna, to Bhima and Arjuna. Samaha, equal. Yudhi, in the fight. Yuyudhana, Yuyudhan. Virata, Virat. Cha, also. Drupada, Drupad. Cha, also. Maharatha, great fighter. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yudhana, Virat and Drupad. Repeat after me. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yudhan, Virat and Drupad. Purport. Even though Drishtadyumna was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military art, there were many others who were causes of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhana as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory, because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjuna, and thus he compared the others with them. Okay. Atra Shura Maheshasha Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhana Viratascha Drupadascha Maharata. So, as we have been seeing, this is Duryodhana's third verse that he is speaking. Second verse is speaking. So, in the previous verse, Duryodhana goes to his teacher, Dronacharya, and he is trying to alarm his teacher that look at what you have done. This army that you see in front of you has been expertly arranged by Drishtadyumna, who is your disciple. So he is trying to point out that such leniency and such open-mindedness is not going to be beneficial in the war. Yeah, he is very selfish. Duryodhana is very selfish. He doesn't want other people to get ahead in life. And when he sees that Dronacharya had given the military education to Drishtadyumna, even after knowing that Drishtadyumna is going to be the cause of his death, he is basically trying to call him a foolish person. How can you go and give knowledge about your own destruction to your own enemy, right? And so he's like, such open-mindedness and such broad-mindedness and such leniency is going to be working against me. So now, how does Duryodhana go about trying to instigate Dronacharya? And this is what these verses show. These verses show how diplomatic and how much of a political master Duryodhana was. Okay? So, if you want to try and convince people to do something, there are two ways to go about it. The first way to go about it is to appeal them by reason. Now, Duryodhana was full of hatred towards the Pandavas, but the Pandavas were a great source of affection for Dronacharya. So Duryodhana knew that no matter how much he bad-mouthed the Pandavas, that is not going to cause any change in affection that Dronacharya would have towards them. So he knows that. So when the appeal towards reason fails, then you take out the second weapon, which is to appeal through our emotions. Because sometimes our emotions, when they are invested, they can cause our intelligence to go away. So what Duryodhana does is he in the previous verse in 1.3 he uses the word Drupada Putrena. So Dronacharya did not have any enmity towards Drishtadyumna because he knew that he was a much greater uh, personality than and fighter than Drishtadyumna. But Duryodhana knew that there is a past between Drupad and Dronacharya, that they were enemies. So by saying the name Drupad in 1.3, he says Drupada Putrena. And again in 1.4, he says Drupadascha Maharata. He is utilizing the words Drupada twice to try to incite anger to him. Now what happens? Like when you go meet people one on one, you have an idea of how they are with you. You have a personal relationship with that person. But now if you come in a group and then there's some person you really like in that other party, and at the same time there's somebody you really hate, if you just focus on the person you really hate, you will try and paint that picture to everyone, that everyone in that group are of the same quality. So what Duryodhana is trying to do is trying to shift Dronacharya's vision from an affection for the other side because of the Pandavas to anger, because he's trying to change the focus of his vision from the Pandavas to who? Drupad. Okay? So anger will cause us to be blind to everything, right? Now he says that all of these, Bhima Arjuna, Samayudhi. So first of all, there is no comparison because Arjuna was the greatest warrior on the other side. So how is he saying that they are Samayudhi? And why does he say Bhima's name first? So Duryodhana says Bhima's name first, even though Arjuna is a greater fighter than Bhima. It's because it shows Duryodhana's trigger point. Like out of all the Pandavas, Duryodhana only had a very big quarrel and envy towards Bhima. He used to respect Yudhishthir Maharaj because Yudhishthir Maharaj had no enemies as such. But Duryodhana had a very big enmity towards Bhima. And this enmity started in their childhood. So in the childhood, when the Kauravas were growing up in the palace, they were thinking that they are the only ones, that they will become the rulers. They did not know that they had an uncle called Pandu, and they did not know that he had sons who were living with him in the forest. But because of King Pandu's unfortunate demise, then Kunti Maharani, along with the 5 Pandavas, came back to the kingdom. And because when they came back to the kingdom, and Bhishma Pitama said that welcome back. Like no, now we've got 105 princes, not only 100. And then what happened is because the Pandavas were righteous in nature, they had automatically gained the favor and attraction of all the citizens. And so now Duryodhana thought that this is a threat to his position. Even though he was so young, still he started scheming against the Pandavas. He started to have a lot of ill feelings towards them. And one day, as Bhima is very strong. He was trying and playing. He was trying to get along with his 100 other brothers, step brothers, cousin brothers, sorry. And so he basically, because he was so big, he shook a tree, and all the Kaurava brothers that were hanging like on the tree, they fell down, and one of them was Duryodhan. And Bhima, not knowing anything else, being very innocent, just picked him up and threw him in the river. And so then this was a turning point for Duryodhan. He is like, this person, he is really, really, really out for me. I need to vanquish him. I need to get him out of my way. And so, and Bhima was just playing. He was trying to make friendship, like how sometimes in playing you might overstep and you don't know it. Another person might infer something malicious. They might infer that this guy is out to get me. Yeah. So this is what happened with Duryodhan and Bhima. So ever since that day, Duryodhan hated Bhima the most. And then what happened is that they went to Guru Drona's Gurukul, and then both of them had chosen the same weapon to master it, and that was the mace, the gada. And so again, there is more competition there. That who is a better mace fighter? Is it Duryodhan or is it Bhima? And then third, after the gambling match had taken place, everything had taken place, Bhima was the one who made the vow that I will kill all 100 of the Kauravas. So Duryodhana was already more fearful. He was already more uh, having more hatred towards Bhima, and at the same time, because of Bhima's vow, it became a trigger point that he knew that if he had to die, he would die at the hands of Bhima, not in the hands of Arjuna. Well, if you see, Arjuna was the one who created more destruction of the Kaurava army. But for Duryodhan, Bhima was as formidable because if he knew that if he at all had to die, it would be at the hands of Bhima. And then why did they say Samayudhi? So Sama here doesn't mean equal in strength. It just means equal in category. And what category is this? The category is Maharata. So in before the Kurukshetra war was going to start, Bhishma Dev had made a list and classified different warriors according to their different capabilities. And he said that a warrior can only fight according to his category of level of warrior. So he said that there are different categories. So there was one category which was known as a Rati. Now a Rati means that one person is able to fight 5,000 people simultaneously. That is a Rati. Then on top of a Rati is something known as a Atirati. Now an Atirati is able to fight 12 Ratis simultaneously or 60,000 people simultaneously. That is the level of an Atirati. And then there is a higher level of Atirati which is known as Maharati, which is the word here, Maharata. Now Maharata can face 12 Atiratis at the same time or 720,000 soldiers simultaneously. And so all these names that have been given, Bhima, Arjuna, Drupad, Virat, Yuyudhana, which is Satyaki, they are, they are all considered to be Maharathas. They are all considered to be really, really powerful fighters. All of them capable of fighting 720,000 soldiers at one time. Okay? In fact, it is also said that Arjuna was worth 2 Maharathis. That means he could fight double that amount. So he could fight nearly 1.5 million people at one time. That is the strength of Arjuna. Same was the strength of Bhishma. So that is why if you see if you go into Mahabharata and you go into the details of the day-to-day fighting and how they are matched up, you would see that they would be matched up in such a way that a Maharata would face a Maharata. Or if a Maratha has to face Atirati, then there will be 12 of them. So it can be of equal matching. But the most important point here is that Duryodhana has mentioned 5 names: Bhim, Arjun, Drupad, Virat, and Yudhan. Now, when he is mentioning Arjuna, who is sitting in front of Arjuna? Is so when Duryodhan is pointing out that there is Arjuna there, can he not see Krishna? Yeah? If Krishna is sitting in front of Arjuna and you can see Arjuna, can he not see Krishna? Well, why does he mention? Why doesn't he mention Krishna's name here? Yes. So what does this? What does this show? This shows the mindset of a materialist. Yeah. For a materialist, what matters is resources or material nature. It doesn't even care who it belongs to. If God is a tool with which we can get more material stuff, then we will worship God. But if God becomes an obstacle to getting material power, then we will reject that God. So this is a materialistic viewpoint, and this was very shown in that episode where when Duryodhan and Arjuna both went to meet Krishna. Then what did Duryodhan want? He wanted Krishna first, but then Krishna made a condition that I'm not going to fight. I'll be a non-combatant. So then he is thinking that okay, if he's being a non-combatant, then it's pointless because he's not going to have any use for me. So even God became subject to his calculation in a material way. So he thought that the entire Narayani Sena would be of greater strength than Krishna himself. Yeah, even a Krishna that was not going to be participating in the combat, he is not as strong as his entire Narayani Sena. And this is a materialist way of looking at things. And what is the spiritualist way of looking at things? What did Arjuna look? Doesn't care what the world. I don't care if I get the entire world. If I do not get Krishna, then this world means zero to me. And in fact, this is the outlook of the Pandavas. When after the Mahabharata war had finished, and they had finished 36 years of ruling, as soon as Yudhishthir Maharaj heard the news that Krishna has left for his abode, then and there he decided to give up his ruling, because he said there is no point in ruling if Krishna is not there. So this is the difference between a materialist and a spiritualist. A materialist, for him, the world matters and Krishna is pointless. And for a spiritualist, Krishna is what matters, and if Krishna is not there, then the world is pointless. Okay? So this verse, although it doesn't show it, but you can read from in between the lines that what is Duryodhana's mentality like, and this actually helps us to reflect about our own life. What is our mentality? Is our mentality like Duryodhan, who wants to conquer the world and only worship Krishna as long as he is helping us in doing that, or do we just want Krishna and not the world? That is the reflection that we need to do. This is a lesson that we can learn from Duryodhan in this text. So that is all I've got to say on this verse. If anyone has any comments, any questions, please say, share. No questions, no comments? Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.